the Elite Dangerous Horizon Season Pass 3.0 Beyond Chapter 1 Beta 1. Seriously, am I alone seeing this stupidity? Devs, who's naming all of these things? But okay, whatever. Let's start recapping the most important changes that we get in this major update. Starting with the most pointless one, the crime and punishment. In general, with changes to crime, there are about 5 things that you'll notice. Number 1. A parasited maggot-filled donkey's head shaped like a football being kicked around by devs. Number 2. Bounty will now be applied to ships, not players, and access to different services like module storage, markets, etc. will be limited if you're wanted or even having fines. Number 3. There will be, as I call them, OP cops going for the most sinister miscreants. Number 4. You will be able to pay up your own bounty by an inflated price, willingly or forcefully if killed. Number 5. Even with a 50 credit fine, the starport will refuse you most of the services. Come on! Can't this be bumped up to 10,000 credit fine threshold before station becomes completely stupid? Oh, and there's something about power play too. But just like with most homeless pop stars, nobody cares about them. So let's move on. Wing missions. Each player can pick up one mission which will offer greater difficulty or more things to do, but they still can be done solo. Still, why can't we have just as many of these missions as normal ones? Did programmers screw up and made the game crash once you pick up more than one? Oh wait, what's that? They actually made it work for everything? And now you can pick up whatever you want? Okay, that's awesome. Right. Well, anyways, then we have the new ship, the Chieftain, made by Lycon and Alliance. So, presumably, it ought to be in the same class as the other little ships that rode the short bus to school. But on a serious note, I know people are eager for my take on it, but for that, I'll wait until update is released. Then moving on to the new THARGOID ships. Yep. Aside from that attempted story or narrative drive, we get something that actually will be useful. Trade data and additional filtering options in Galaxy Map. Think of these changes as that little meek attempt at making Elite Database in the game itself. Yes, I'll still use Elite Database because, well, it's an amazing tool. But for those that don't want to lose the immersion or don't know any better, more tools means better gameplay, and this is one of those cases. But if we're talking quality of life improvements for trading, why aren't there buy all and sell all buttons next to buying options? Is it that hard to put in those 2 buttons? Really? No, seriously, I'm genuinely curious about this. Alright, well, moving on. Of course, the bigger change to the game in this update will be coming in form of engineers. There are a lot of details to be covered, but here are my own notes. Now you'll have to upgrade every module from grade 1 to grade 5, using all the materials needed, and this already tells you that an average Joe will have to spend a lot more materials, and therefore more time searching for them. Not a great change if I'm honest, unless material spawning will be more generous, which, again, it won't be. Now, there also won't be objectively worse roles possible, making the system a lot more fair for everyone. Oh, and did you know that the old system also had a hard cap, so those of you whining about the system not providing unique modules, I say you're deluded. Then there are a few more experimental effects, which include non-weapon modules. Yeah, and finally, these effects could be simply exchanged for materials without losing any reputation for the engineer. No, and how could I forget? Now, the screen that tells you what stats have you improved does not resemble a damn gambling slot machine. The option to skip these animations should still exist like in the previous version. So that's mostly it about engineering on my side anyways. Additionally to that, we also will have material exchangers that'll allow you exchange materials in your rather typical game exchange raids. I.e., so unfair, every material exchanger would be pursued by aforementioned OP cops every day if this was real life. Oh, and hey, there are some interesting numbers considering the material exchanger. On the screen you can see current beta numbers for exchanging grade 1 materials to 1 grade 5. And this ties into materials themselves. There have been some notes on some changes in material distribution on planet surfaces where the new textures have been used as well. Still, this doesn't mean that there will be more materials, it's just different materials. Also, now every material will have an individual 100 unit capacity, which I see as entirely too low. So the only reason not to give us higher material storage capacity would be to reduce the level of exploit gain materials or to force players to search for them more often, which, let's be honest, is really annoying thing to do. Seriously, devs, have you yourselves tried getting even 50 units of data mined wake exceptions? And that's just one example. So I'd say 250 unit capacity would be a good starting off point. Also, the more stuff you put in game, the more unique stuff there is, the more variations there are, the more and more players will ask for module storage expansion. What with the tech broker and all the experimentals available on other modules even, the bigger this need has become. Oh, and speaking of tech broker, yes, now for the price of about 120 materials from different kinds, at least in beta, you will unlock the ability to purchase later a new module or a weapon. Yep, a glorified unlock system, much like rank system for ships but without the multiple ranks. And they call this part the personal narrative. What is that wretched smell that I sense? After that, we got Galnet Audio, that at least currently plays every time you press escape button too. But no, seriously though, this is a nice little addition that will give some kind of life to the events happening in the game, plus more of that juicy immersion. Then, also to further the microtransaction gravy train, you'll be able to change ship cockpit voice assistant. Another nice thing, sure, but cynic in me is screaming like someone's stabbing his balls with needles. Now, boys and gals, babies and voters, I mean old folks, do you like piracy? Yes? Well, now you'll be able to interact with megaships more and potentially pirate from them too. Plus, some high-value targets have been generated thanks to that elusive magic that is RNGesus' silent stinkers. Rejoice, pirates, there will be more ways to earn very little money. And finally, the best and most important part about every patch that affects us all the most: quality of life improvements. So here we go. There will be more synthesis options, including AX weapons, by the way. Then ship boost effectiveness will be dependent on engine pips. Oh, and there will be option to ignore materials and commodities for limpet controllers. Then Type 10 is getting an upgrade in power distributor. Woohoo! And Type 9's Class 7 optional compartment has been upgraded to Class 8, making its total cargo capacity 788 tons. And finally, that thing that everyone has been asking for, free Keely. Yes, Keelback finally got the second seat to accommodate another nature's mistakes butt cheeks. Is capable of having fun with a real friend, not a mannequin with a hamster brain and 3 stumps for arms. So in short, those would be the most important gaping holes that needed covering after that maggot infestation. So if you want to see and read all the changes for yourself, there will be a link down below in the description. Now decide to let me know what you think of the changes and what still needs changing. That will allow you, guess what? Exchange materials. For Adir, yes, I speak correct, yes. Right, so let's see. Damn it, I forgot what I wanted to do. Cut!
Basic medicines and natural fabrics, and to evacuate civilians from the...
Wait, what? This is not right. It's showing that it's playing this one, but it's playing this one. Okay, sure. Not much of a fake news, but rather wrong news. Hey! No, I mean seriously, what is this? Are you kidding me? Seriously? Yep. So that's a thing too. Oh yeah! Let's do the workout. Ah, fuck! My ship is getting... Oh no. Oh no, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Crap.